What's going on, everyone? NoZoupForYou here, and today we are going to do a final review of the Mainz, the Kriegsmarine Tier 8 Premium Cruiser, which is based off the Admiral Hipper, though it's not quite the same, and has some key differences that might make you love this ship or might make you hate this ship. First and foremost, I need to apologize right now. If at any point during this video you hear crying, it's because I've got my two babies in here with me. I'm looking after them while my wife takes a nap. We just took them on a walk. They're in their little carriers, and they seem to be pretty tired right now, though Benjamin is stirring just a little bit. So, you might hear him from time to time, you might not. I'll be sure to cut it if he gets too crazy. Fortunately, I can rock him with my foot right now. That seems to have worked in the past. Maybe not. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the Mainz and what she has going for her in the way of statistics. And there's Benjamin. They do okay when you pick them up and rock them. That seems to quiet them down a little bit. So, first and foremost, for your survivability on the Mainz, you have 42,500 hit points. Torpedo protection damage reduction of 22%. One thing to know about this ship is you do not have heals, so don't go in there thinking you do, because you don't. That might alter your playstyle just a little bit. You need to be a little more careful with it. Moving on to artillery. Your main battery, you have 4 triple turrets with 150mm shells. Right off the top, that is not the largest, especially when you have ships like the Prince Eugen that have 203mm shells. Keep in mind, though, that these guns do have a very fast reload time of 6 seconds, so you can pump some serious rounds at other ships. Now, they might not do a lot of damage in higher tiers, but you're going to be able to sling a lot. When you're slinging HE, that increases your chances for fire percentage chance. One other awesome offensive capability that this ship has is its torpedoes. Now, granted, they are your typical 6-kilometer torpedoes that most German ships carry. They travel at 64 knots, and the unique thing about this ship is you have 4 quad launchers. 2 on each side, so you can sling 8 torpedoes up close and personal, and it's fun to do. This ship was made to brawl in some circumstances. I wouldn't say most, because if you're up-tiered, getting in there and brawling with a bigger ship like a Grosser Kurfürst or a Kremlin, might not go so well for you. But in its own tier, in the lower tiers, you can have an absolute lot of fun using these torpedoes and getting up close and personal. Your Aaa Defense, it's there. It's nothing to sing home about, but it will keep you protected, depending on the type of aircraft carrier you're facing. Maneuverability, your maximum speed is 33.6 knots, and that's with Sierra mics. Your turning circle radius is 720 meters with a rudder shift time of 10.5 seconds. And that's on my ship and the way I had it set up. Not horrible. You do feel somewhat nimble, and up close and personal if you're maneuvering, you can indeed maneuver, so not too bad. Concealment on the Mainz is going to be 12 kilometers. So not the best detectability in the world, but you know what? 12 kilometers, it is what it is. One last thing I want to point out about this ship, if you're thinking it might have a secondary build, it really doesn't. So I wouldn't build this ship with a secondary build in mind. One of the things I've added to the ship is Demolition Expert, just to eke out a little more fire. That's something you're going to want to do. It seems like at base, these guns don't start the most fires at only 10%. And you're going to want to increase that because HE from a distance is going to be one of your best assets against higher tier battleships. Now let's talk about this ship overall. Let's talk about the feels. It's been a while since I've done a ship in this format, so we will start with the offensive capabilities of this ship on a score of 0 out of 10. Now for this ship, I'm going to give it a firm 7. I'm not the most impressed with its guns. Yes, they're only 150 millimeters. Even though they do fire fast, sometimes you feel like you're just not doing a lot of damage, you're not starting a lot of fires. AP can work in a pinch, but you're going to have problem against more well-armored ships. I mean, really, the guns, I want to say they're mediocre. Their only saving grace is the fact that they do fire as fast as they do. Now, the one thing that keeps the offensive category for this ship at a solid 7 is those torpedoes, and the fact that you have so many of them. And I think you're going to surprise many ships with them, especially if you can get the jump on them. even bigger battleships at tier 9 and tier 10. So torpedoes, very nice. Guns, somewhat middling. Your defensive capability and your survivability. 42,500 hit points. Your armor's pretty good. You got that nice German turtleback spoof armor where a ship can fire at you up close and it's going to do strange things and it's not going to cause the damage that those ships think they're going to cause. So it's your typical Kriegsmarine ship. It's got that armor layout. So I got to tell you on that, yeah, the survivability's decent. I'm going to give that a solid 7 as well. Aaa Defense I usually lump into the defensive capabilities of the ship as well, and while it's not superb, it's not horrible. You will have trouble against tier 10 carriers in this thing, though. Maneuverability on this ship, I'm going to give it an 8. And I'm going to give it an 8 because even though it's not the fastest, it does turn pretty well, which helps you a lot when you're maneuvering into position and when you're trying to attack ships up close. You can brawl in this ship, but you got to be smart about it. You can't just go in there charging in, especially if there's a lot of ships firing at you. You will get torn apart, especially if you're in tier 9 or tier 10 battles. But in your own tier, you can definitely brawl with this ship, and its maneuverability gives you that brawling capability. Fun factor on this ship, you know what? I'm going to give it a solid 7. And the reason for that is you can have fun in it. It's an interesting feeling ship. It's not your typical German cruiser. Its AP doesn't hit as hard as you might like, but its guns fire really fast, and sometimes that can be a lot of fun. Sometimes it can be useful. And the fact that you've got those awesome 8 torpedoes on each side, that increases the fun factor when you're going in for the kill. This ship will kill, for those of you that watch Forged in Fire. So overall, what do I rate the Mainz? I'm going to give the Mainz a solid 7. And that's not bad. 7 out of 10 is not bad at all. There are some things that I really, really love about this ship, and there's some things that I really, really hate about this ship. As a tier 8 ship, and a German tier 8 ship at that, I hate the fact that I feel like I just don't hit as hard as I would like, or as hard as I think I should. And that's with the guns, solely on the guns. Survivability also. If you haven't played German ships in a while and you've been playing tier 8 ships that have heals, it might be a little tough going and getting into this ship. Still though, you can survive, you can hold your own, its armor's not that bad. The saving grace about this ship is, again, those torpedoes, and it's just got some fun attributes that other German ships don't have. Again, fast-firing guns and torpedoes. So it's a different flavor. If you like the hipper and kind of wish it had faster-firing guns and you could use it differently, yeah, this ship might be something to look into. It is different. It's got a different feel to it. It's got different guns to it. It's not a hipper. It's a very different feeling German ship. Now, whether or not you should get it, I don't know. It is a beautiful looking ship. All German ships are beautiful looking. That's one thing they always have going for them. I just don't know if it's enough to pull you away from something like the Prince Eugen. I mean, the guns, while they fire fast, they sometimes don't hit hard. And I really like my German ships to hit hard. So, overall 7. Now, in the future, I'm going to be giving away a Mainz. In a future video, I'll tell you how you can win one. Want to know your thoughts, what you think of this ship, and whether you plan on getting the Mainz. You know, guys, that's been your review on the Mainz. Solid 7 out of 10. It's a decent ship. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Zoop out.